Shalom, Yasharala. This is your brother Dawada, coming back into it this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real quick, which says government bailout signals death of capitalism. All right, and so going into this, following up on this bank collapse of SVB or Silicon Valley Bank, right? And it's how do I put it? It's connections to these other banks and small businesses and everything else like that, man. All right, prepare for a quote unquote domino effect, right? As far as people losing jobs, businesses, somewhat going under and everything else like that. But more importantly, that when I've been looking at this whole thing and not just this specific problem, but with the situation with the gold in China, they're talking about it's not 100% gold, and finding out certain things. The FTX collapse with the crypto situation. All right, the housing market that's about to collapse. All right, all these different things. Interest rates going up. All these different things are what getting into what they call volatility in the system. Right now, you have all these people. That, or we'll get in the scripture about the no more mirth in the land. All right, hey, typically looking at the stock market and businesses and things like that, it's all in the up and ups, housing market and everything on the up and ups. But see, now all of a sudden, everything, crypto, we all excited about these things. Now everything is a big major hit. All right, you're starting to see a lot of these financial institutions going out of business. All right, everybody's, nobody's wanting to say the C word about these things, but, hey, the truth is the proof is in the pudding, man. There's a lot of corruption that's going on with a lot of these things. But what do you think that these people are going to wind up saying, man? Hey, we need some type of solution. All right. And hey, they got problem reaction solution. They got the solution already ready, in the form of the MOTB. All right. So we're not that far away from these things being implemented with, a digital currency. All right. They're still working on, the CBDCs. Those things were shot down in the courts. But we know what the end game goal is going to be. All right. And they'll make a scenario to where they'll make you beg for these things, man. There's a lot of different things, where, we can go back to pre 9/11. Right, you ask people about, hey, let us put cameras up around your house to follow you all day long and carry this here box that's going to track you and wherever you go. People would be in uproars and be like, hell nah. But after 9/11, we need cameras up everywhere. With the school situation with the little kids and everything, we need more security. We need more cameras. We need more of this. We need more of that. All right, but then at the end all be all, you got the solution, that they had created before they even gave you the problem or even seen your reaction. So this is the same thing that's going on here, man. All right, we're getting closer and closer to the end, like the scriptures say, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall rain it upon him. Well, we see the opponents in World War III being merged together, their friendships being forged together through the hatred of Babylon the Great, the missiles being tested and everything else like that, man. So hey, at the flip side, we also understand that measuring time diligently, that this here MOTB is around the corner as well. All right, so it says government bailout signals death of capitalism. All right, it says the U.S. government intervention in the unfolding banking crisis have been slammed by Citadel hedge fund founder Ken Griffin, who told the Financial Times the situation should have served as a good lesson for investors. And again, putting it on the people that's in the small people put into these things, and really the small people or would be like, the venture capitalists, startups, small business startups and things like that go to these banks for like loans and not really loans, but what do they call it? It's a term for like rolling capital. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay, like for instance, you got an insurance company, right? And let's say everybody paid a bill at the end of the month, right? On the 27th, right? Now, throughout the rest of the month, you got bills that's got to go out. You may be paying rent for your building. You got to be paying car insurance for your cars. You got to pay for your licenses and your employees' payroll and everything. So you got money going out, but you don't get paid to the end of the month. So, hey, you need to have what that rolling capital to be able to pay all these people back, even though you're going to be able to pay back your bill at the end of the month. So, hey, man, without these things, just like some people live off of credit cards, it's like, well, I get paid once a month. I'm going to go ahead and use my credit card throughout the month and then just make that one payment. Well, what if you didn't have that credit card to make that payment? And then from week to week, you ain't got no money because you don't get paid till once a month, right? So all these things have a connection with one another. But again, looking at the problem, reaction, solution, what do you think the people are going to start crying for? Regulations. All right, we need more regulations, more oversight, more regulations. All right. Now listen how they putting this on to the PA. Hey, it's their fault. They should have did better with these things, man. Maybe if they ask us for some help, we'll come in with it. Not realizing this is all a scheme put together for this here purpose anyway. It says the U.S. government intervention intervention in unfolding banking crisis have been slammed by Citadel. Hang on one second. By Citadel hedge fund founder Ken Griffin, who told Financial Times the situation had been served should have served as a good lesson for investors. According to the report on Monday, Griffin said the strength of the U.S. economy meant that authorities did not have to take such a forceful action. It would have been a great lesson in moral hazard, as he quoted for saying by the FT, losses to the depositors would have been immaterial and would have driven home the point that risk management is essential. All right, again, putting it on the so-called consumer, the end person, the so-called little guy. Well, hey, they shouldn't have put all their money into this here bank and everything else like that. Granted, yeah, you shouldn't put all more than $250,000 in it. Now let's make something clear real quick, because the way that they talking about this, you make it seem like it's a lot of regular people that's involved directly by this. You know what I'm saying? And which that's not the case. The majority of people, I would only think maybe dumb rappers or something like that would have more than $250,000 into one bank account. You're not supposed to do that. All right. Most people don't really have that kind of cash. Even the Jeff Bezos is a bad example, and Elon Musk and them are bad examples because they got so much money they could have $250,000 in the actual bank account. But however, let's say for the Kanye situation, how he went from a billionaire to a non-billionaire overnight. Well, he had businesses that he owned, and those businesses was valued at a certain amount of dollars. Like when they say Elon Musk either became the richest man or not so much the richest man. When those Tesla stocks wound up falling, because he owns so much of the Tesla company and the Tesla stocks, when that company falls in valuation, his valuation falls. So if the company's worth $100 billion and it loses its value to $50 billion, let's just say that's the only company he has, where he went from having a $150 billion company to now having a $50 billion company. That ain't got nothing to do with how much money he have in the bank. He could have $20 in the bank. Like, I thought you was a billionaire. But like, yeah, into this business, but I only got $20 in my bank account, right? So, hey, just like, me, you, him, and her, you may have a $300,000 home with $20 in your bank account. Well, your assets is the $300,000 home. If it's paid off, it's a $300,000 home. All right. But, the regular person don't have the $250,000 in their bank account. The people, the situation that this is going to deal with is businesses. Now, when you're dealing with businesses, all right, everything is magnified onto a whole larger level. All right. You can have a business, for instance, where, you go to the store. Let's say, for instance, a regular person, you go to the store, you go grocery shopping, or you go get some supplies for your house. At the top end, you may spend $100 on some shit for the house. You know what I'm saying? But now you got a business. Let's say you got a auto shop, a mechanic shop or something like that, whatever kind of business, a hair salon, whatever it is. When you go to the store for your business, a restaurant, right? You go to the restaurant store, you're going to be spending thousands, sometimes thousands, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars every time you go to the store, because you're buying what product. But now things are magnified. People may have to spend a certain amount of money. So to give you a real example, a car dealership. When a car dealership want to go and buy cars to sell on a lot, they got to put forth the money to get the cars to begin with. So they may be, let's say, a Lamborghini dealership. You know what I'm saying? And one bank account for this one business, they may have multiple millions of dollars in that account because, bro, we got like a whole like 10 Lamborghinis out here. You know what I'm saying? Them shits is like, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a piece. You got 10 of them, that's $4 million, or, just doing, some simple little quick math, whatever, throwing some numbers out there. So that's really nothing for them to have millions of dollars in one bank account. Cause they're dealing in product and things like that. And especially with dealing with this SVB with small business startups and things like that. Some of these people need that kind of funding just to get up off the road. Hey man, we're going to need X amount again, about to start up a car dealership. We have to go and buy, normal people ain't buying more than one car at a time. But if you're about to start a car dealership, right? You think of your normal car dealership, a new or used car, right? You got to stock the lot. So you're going to go buy maybe 50 cars at a time, right? Now you need that type of rolling capital and hey, I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and drop $1 million in my bank account so I can go invest into these 50 cars I got to go and buy to go put them on my lot and try to go make $10 million back. Hey, they're going to have that in that account. But guess what? When that money's tied up or you have payroll, let's say you have a whole lot of employees, right? You have to pay all these employees out and everything else like that. And that payroll is like, it's big and it's rolling out. You need this money to be able to pay them out. But now all that money's caught up. So this is that trickle down effect, man. Again, pushing the people to like, hey, I ain't got my paycheck or my business ain't got the funding they were supposed to get. Now my business is collapsing. Now I got to lay some people off all because of these things. What do you think the side of the people is going to be? We need regulations. All right. What you're watching is what they call a Hegelian dialectic. All right, problem, reaction, solution. It says, let me read this again. It says, according to the report on Monday, Griffin said that the strength of the U.S. economy meant that the authorities did not have to take such forceful action, trying to stop all this stuff or bailing them out. All right. It would have been a great lesson in moral hazard. He was quoted as saying by the FT, losses to depositors would have been immaterial, and it would have driven home the point of risk management is essential. The CEO of the $62 billion hedge fund pointed out, we're full of employment, credit losses have been minimal, and bank balance sheets are the strongest ever. We can address the issue of moral hazard from the position of strength. Griffin also lashed out at the U.S. Federal Reserve over the banking turmoil, saying that the regulators was the definition of being asleep at the wheel. Again, there it is. All right, we need more regulations, more regulations, more regulations. We need more oversight. We need more tracking and tracing and looking at it under a microscope. All right, what should come to your mind with this? All right, no man is able to buy or sell save he that have that mark, right? That inspector's mark to be able to see what the hell you're doing with all this money, right? The U.S. is supposed to be be a capitalist economy, and that's breaking down before our eyes. He claimed there's been a loss of financial discipline with the government bailing out depositors in full. Griffin added, all right, and there's your caveat, hey, you got to bail out these banks. No, don't bail out the banks. We seen what happened beforehand. They too big to fail, and you bailed them out before for their incompetency of what they doing. Yeah, but you got all these people that's being leveraged off of all these things, man. All right. It says, concerns over the health of the U.S. financial system has grown since the failure of one of the country's largest tech lenders last week. Silicon Valley Bank, which had over $200 billion in assets only a few months ago, imploded on Friday after what analysts call a classic case of a bank run. It says, alarmed over the state of the bank, depositors rushed to withdraw funds, which saw SVB shares crash and forced the FDIC, right, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, to shut the lender down. SVB became the largest financial institution to collapse since the 2008 financial crisis. And again, looking for a caveat to trigger off this next quote unquote, the R word, recession, right? They've been pushing for this with the FTX collapse. All right, the situation just happened with the gold. All right, the buyback of a lot of gold because it's it's so-called tainted. It's not 100% gold and everything. The housing market crisis. All right, the war with Ukraine, the pandemic. All right, they've been trying to shut down this here economy and bring online the new digital currency. All right, this is what all governments have going on in the back of their minds. But guess what? You have pushback from some of the people. All right, and they can't just get it through the laws as if they want. So how do they do it? They force your hand into certain things, man. It's the old mob trick. Hey, we trying to offer some security over here to your business. Well, we don't need no security. We don't have no crime going on in my business. What the hell are you talking about? You take you and your security and get the hell on down the block, right? Okay, well, we're going to come back. We're going to knock out y'all windows. We're going to start robbing the place. We're going to cause some crime over here just so y'all come over here and ask for protection, right? So this is what you see going on. SVB decline followed by the announcement last Wednesday that the California-based crypto-focused bank Silvergate about its impending liquidation. On Sunday, New York-based Signature Bank was shut down by regulators, becoming the third failure in U.S. banking industry in the last week. On Tuesday, Moody rating agency placed First Republic Bank and 5 other American lenders on review for downgrade. Global banking stocks have plummeted. All right. And so again, everything we've been seeing over the last couple years or so have been really last year and this year have been degrading what this global, or really the last couple years since the pandemic, but the global economy. All right. Hammering down on people, man, putting them into this here rough spot, man. All right. Let's get into some scriptures real quick. Because, this is the beginning of it all. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and let me just start at 1. It says, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil's days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And going back into, Lord's will, we'll get this in Isaiah, where they talk about this, they're not going to drink wine with a song, or strong drink going to be bitter to them. They're not going to be celebrating no more. There's going to be no more mirth in the streets and everything else like that, man. All right, so you go back to a certain point in time, people say, the rally in the stock market, stocks is just going up, 401ks is going up, small business loaning, and it's the best time to get all this money. It's cheap and everything else. Now all of a sudden inflation is going up. The the interest rates are going up. All right, things are starting to collapse around. People was rallying over Bitcoin some years back at 60,000. It's going up. Put your money in Bitcoin, Dogecoin. Now all of a sudden, Bitcoin had dropped to 15,000, 20,000. People was hurt over that, man. The FTX collapse just further drained out more people's accounts, man. All right, now you're starting to see these bank runs. All right, that's going on, which is collapsing a lot of these banks. Which these banks, not necessarily banks that do real banking with regular people. These banks are doing banking with businesses. All right, so you can imagine if your bank shut down and you can't get the money out of the bank, so you can go to the grocery store, go buy you some, whatever you're trying to buy from the grocery store. Imagine if that was a business. Imagine if Walmart Bank, was keeping Walmart afloat. You know what I'm saying? When it comes time to payroll and every, if Walmart can't get a check cut so they can make their payroll, they're not gonna have no employees in the store. If Walmart can't get a check cut from their bank to make a product placement, the inventory restock, then they ain't gonna have nothing in the stores. All right. So hey man, and a lot of businesses actually done like that where you have to fork up the bill first, all right, and get reimbursed on the back end. All right, think about a restaurant. When if you ever worked in a restaurant, in the back, they got a freezer with all the food in the freezer. Well, guess what? That business owner had to buy all that food first, put it in the freezer. He don't know how long that food's going to, he may know how long it's going to, depending on how booming his business is. But he's putting that food in the freezer. He's already bought it, all right, to sell it at a later date, hoping to make his money back. All right, what would be devastating to him is if he spent, $2, $3, $4, $5,000 on some food, then all of a sudden the freezer, he has some kind of catastrophic event. Let's say the freezer went down, and then all of a sudden you lost power, electricity for a couple of weeks. The business was shut down. Now all the food wound up spoiling. All right, then what do? All right, well, that was the money we were supposed to flip to get back to the next, the next flip up and the next flip up and the next flip up, but we didn't lost that, man. So, hey, thinking back, remember when things was good? Things ain't all that good no more, man. All right, now everybody want to just, how they say it was all good just a week ago. When everybody was popping bottles, everything was all good. Now all of a sudden it's like, man, what the hell do we do out here, man? All right, but hey, if you already rooted in the Lord, man, this is not no shocker to you. If anything, it's better for us right now. Getting close to the MOTB, which is getting closer to the day of our redemption, right? But for these people that sold on Babylon the Great, these things is a bad sightings that's coming down the pipeline. All right, we're gonna read to it. It says, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. All right, and the keepers of the house, the people that understand about these things, Tyrone and Jerome down the block don't really understand. They keep hearing about the bank and stuff. Some people don't even know about the bank and stuff, and they don't foresee what's going on. But some of those, I had to look into it myself. But some of those that know about this bank is like, well, look, this here bank, or like that other bank that's invested in the cryptos and stuff like that. Well, that bank is going down. Well, guess what you can think about is about to happen to crypto. Crypto's about to go down too, right? Banks that's holding up other businesses and things. Well, if you know what businesses are in bed with those banks, you will see what's going on with that. Just like with the housing market, right? Beforehand, if you knew what banks had all their money tied up in all these mortgages, when the mortgages was going bad, when those banks was going, or when the banks was going down, you knew that a lot of people was about to go into foreclosure, or vice versa. When you see all these people going into foreclosure, if you knew what banks held their loans, you knew what bank was about to go under, right? So hey, this is when the keepers of the houses are starting to tremble. All right, they're seeing what's being foreshadowed, man. All right, but hey, looking at this spiritually, we know that the MOTB is coming from around the corner. All right. Let me go from there to, I just quoted this. Let's go ahead and grab this. Isaiah 24. I'm starting with verse 7. Yeah, we can start at verse 7. It says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languish, and all the merry hearted do sigh. I can see if you was, doing good in business. Like I said, just being as a business owner and whatever, businesses is doing business with these banks. If you wake up one morning and you realize that your accounts have been frozen, or let's say you got a business, and in your business, like I gave the, again, $10 million in the bank for a business is really not that much money. All right. When you think of like certain businesses, you can think about this is the government, but you think about your local city and public transportation. Think about how much it costs for all the city buses that they own. That's a pretty penny. You know what I'm saying? You own a trucking company, you own like 10 trucks. Them trucks are pretty expensive, right? So it's nothing really to have $1 million in your bank account, you know what I'm saying, as a business. Right, really, unless you're a really, really small mom and pop's business, right? $250,000. Shit, some lawn businesses make over $250,000. That's just Ray and Tyrone them cutting grass. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a whole lot of money. But imagine you got $1 million in your, for your business to operate and everything, and all of a sudden you only entitled to 250,000 of it. A quarter of what you have, right? You done lost 3/4 of all your funding, man. You think your business can keep going on? You've been working up, and most businesses are in the red for the first couple years. All right, we talking about small business startups, man. So hey, all these businesses are waking up in the morning like, damn, bro. We just hit our $1 million mark, and now we only down to $250,000. We got to buy another shipment of products to sell, but we ain't got the money no more because this is all we got. We got $300,000 or $400,000 in the payroll. We got to pay our employees, and we only got $250,000 left. We can pay our employees, but we can't even re-up on inventory no more. So what the hell we do now, right? Or we can re-up on inventory, but we ain't got no more employees. What do we do, right? So hey, this is why you're starting to see, the merry heart is starting to sigh. Hey, look back at the crypto thing, man. All right, you had a lot of these different people that was invested in the crypto, and then all of a sudden crypto started dropping down. Beforehand, a couple years ago, you heard everybody talking about some Doge to the moon, Shiba to the moon, and everything. Now everybody like, man, we ain't fucking with none of that right now, man. All right. It says they shall not drink wine with a song, and strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. And again, there's a lot of investors and these people that's tied up into the stock market, waking up in the morning. It's like, yo, bro, hey, we not over here with the woo spirit. Woo, turn up, we making all this money in the stock market. Now there are people that's making buku money in the stock market. If you know, but that these companies is about to go down. You can what they call short selling these bad boys. You know what I'm saying? Make money on it. Hey, if you know, but. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right, which is bringing us forth into the time, like the scriptures speak about. They should not have pity upon their neighbors, but spoil their house for all their goods because of a lack of bread and a lack of resources, man. It's getting ugly out here, man. They're trimming. How do you say, the middle class out of the picture, man. Small business owners and everything else like that. People trying to invest and save their little money is getting wiped out day to day, man. All right, to the point to where nobody's going to be able to afford anything. And what do you think problem, reaction, solution is going to be? Take this here chip. We can wipe away all your debt. We'll get you back whole again. Y'all done lost so much money. We can get you back at least to where you was at. Hey, look at this banking scenario, man. You got $1 million in the bank as a small business startup, and you just about to make your big break. All right, to start selling for maybe $1 billion or something like that. But then it's like, look, bro, we can get you back. You can get you all your money back, but you got to take this here chip. If not, we're going to only insure up to $250,000. And we know you lost $10 million in this. And we know you was going to leverage that $10 million to make $10 billion next month. What do you think these people going to wind up doing, man? All right. They're going to wind up taking that their chip. All right. So, hey, this is what we're watching. It's looking like a planned degradation of the economic systems to bring in what? We'll go ahead and grab it. Let me, there's another precept I wanted to grab, but we'll grab this. As a matter of fact, first, it says, Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation which cometh upon all the world to try them to dwell on the earth. Now, again, dealing with some of these, not to say lower class people, but the regular individuals, when it's time to eat, hey, y'all ain't got no money, y'all ain't got nothing coming in. We'll see how they can easily influence those people. But like I said, in the example I just gave, hey man, look, you finally flipped up to $10 million in your business account, right? You done lost it all. We can only insure up to 250,000. But if you take this here chip, we'll put that whole 10 million back. We know that you was inking a deal, that you was closing at the end of the month to turn that 10 million, all right, into 10 billion because you was about to sell your company. What do you think that these people were gonna wind up doing, man? That's that hour of temptation, bro. I'm about to become a billionaire. All I got to do is just sign this to get this here chip for a couple of days and blah, blah, blah. Hey, these people are about to take it, man. All right, these people are about to jump into these things, especially people, because these are all people, venture capitalists that's trying to, so-called invest into certain things. And then also small business owners who is like, yo, I'm taking a leap of faith out here. And a lot of these people fail multiple times before they even succeed. So, hey, we see what's going on, man. All right, we see how all these systems is pointing towards. Let's go ahead and grab it right now. Revelation 13:16, it says, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast. So, hey, when it comes to these points of times, hey, you want access to your money in the account, you want access to fast cash, or we need regulations, all right, so that these things don't happen no more. Hey, we can insure 100% up to your money if you just go into this digital system, because we'll hold all the assets and all the things in there. There's no more fraud, there's no more manipulation, no more corruption, no more of any of these things. We can fix all these problems if y'all just get on this here new system. This is going to be the global system. All right, we're gonna do it all digital and everything else like that. There's no more fraud, no more manipulation, no more corruption. Just get on this here system, man. These people are gonna eventually go down there willingly and take this here chip, man. All right, but hey, these are the people that, like the scripture say, if our gospel be hid, is hid to those that are lost, man. These people are blinded out here, man. They have no idea what's being set up for them, man. They're being led as a sheep to the slaughter out here, man. All right. But I just want to touch briefly on that there, this whole banking situation and everything. I'm like, hey, man, looking, back at it as far as, from a distance, like it seems like that problem reaction solution is coming into play because, speaking on there where they talking about that R word, regulators, they need regulators to do more, regulators to do more. All the recipient or all the so-called clients of this here bank, they're gonna be saying the same thing, man. We need more regulations. We need some kind of security or some kind of safety net so this doesn't happen again. And when they go and asking for those things, well, the only thing that we got to offer you, what I'm saying, is the MOTB. All right. And hey, we know what's going to happen if you wind up taking that. You can read that in Revelation 14. But nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, 14 and was it 9? Boom. You can start reading from there. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and never will. And citation to much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.